Omoda launched its first model in South Africa in 2023, the C5, and its quirky, modern and fresh styling really got South Africa talking. Now later that year at Festival of Motoring, they revealed to us their newest, punchier, bigger and more luxurious model, the C9. You may know that Sherry is the parent of Omoda and Jaku, and obviously they seem to get styling right all the time, and this is no different because I really do think this is quite a handsome fella. I mean, look at the front, the bonnet. I mean, we've got these muscular lines, really just giving it a more stanced out feel. Full LED lights that look like a teardrop, sort of. You also have a connected illuminating light between the LEDs. And I think in contrast to that gray of the plastic chrome, as well as the overall color of this car, I mean, this is quantum gray and it's a matte finish. And I think it really does make this car feel more premium and stand out in traffic. Over on the side is where I think the profile of this car and its character really stands out design-wise, because you have a sloping roofline, blacked out pillars, and that gives the roof sort of a floating feel about the car. Another cool feature as you approach the car is that it will open your side mirrors and pop out your handles, which really is a premium experience. The rear design is quite sexy as well. I mean, look at that light detailing. You have the bars inside this one singular tailpiece, and you also have a duo of brake lights up top, and below you have quartet exhaust pipes, which are fake, but I do feel it does give more of a sporty feel. The great thing about SUVs, well, in most cases, is that you've got ample boot space, and that's the case here in the Omoda C9. And what I like about this as well is that you do get a standard spare wheel, and it doesn't compromise the size of the boot as well. While the exterior benefits from the ties that Sherry has with Range Rover, the inside has elements of Mercedes-Benz. In front of me is a multifunctional leather-wrapped steering wheel, adequately sized. You also have gear shifters as well. Behind that, a dual digital screen. The infotainment system is compatible obviously with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you can adjust your ambient lighting inside this car. It also has these chrome-like controls to adjust your aircon as well as your driver modes. You have 7 driving modes that you can select. Below are your 2 charging pads. You usually get 1, but in this car, you're going to have 2 for yourself and your passenger. You also have plenty space underneath here to store whatever else you might need to store. Seats, quite sumptuous, and you have a surround system integrated into your seats, which is pretty cool. The C9 offers a double panel sunroof that stretches on over to the rear of the seats so that passengers can also get a bit of that sunlight. Now, what makes this such a good family car is the amount of space you also get in the rear, not just for kids, but for grown adults too. I mean, look at that space between my legs. It is ample, and between my head and the roof. Like, it really is spacious in here. And you can also control your heated seats, not only for the front, but for the rear as well. That's dope.
Off-road mode. Normal mode.
So this car is quite easy to drive. It also offers quite a smooth and lofty ride. The suspension is quite good as well. And the engine does what it needs to do. I mean, I think on traffic stops, I do feel like there's some sort of a hesitation. A few seconds of hesitation, then it kind of just pulls off. But it's nothing that would really bother me. It really is nitpicking. The prices for these cars are amazing. This will set you back for the 2-wheel drive, 785, and 885,900 Rand for the 4-wheel drive, which I think it really is or comes at a good price. But you look at the fuel efficiency, I'm currently sitting on 11 liters per 100. And for me, it's like, had you had that one thing also just in there, I mean, that's just a killer, no-brainer. You really have almost the perfect product. Service 7 years or 100,000 kilometers, and the warranty is 7 years or 200,000 kilometers. Engine warranties are 10 years. So I think with everything considered, I've enjoyed my time in this car. I really think it has all the makings of a premium SUV, what it's supposed to look like, what it's supposed to feel like. This has been, I think, another sort of bracket opened for Omoda. Of course, this is their first luxury, SUV, but I think with this car, they really have said, we can also do it, and we can do it just like other brands can, and we can give it to you at a more affordable price. It does leave me quite worried though for the German brands and other competitors, because the Chinese have arrived and they're not backing down. They're coming in more aggressive than ever.
Welcome back to Ignition GT. Its looks may not be to everyone's tastes, but judging by how many C5s there are on the roads, there are no shortage of people who love it. Will the bigger and plusher C9 follow in the footsteps of its siblings?
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks completely different. It even looks more different from the C5, which is already a spaceship, futuristic looking thing. This, they've got it right. I mean, if you look at all the vehicles coming out from China, they've got the styling point on.
It feels like the latest crop of cars coming out of that side of the world, and I don't want to say Chinese cars anymore, I feel like they're starting to differentiate themselves as different brands now, are getting really, really good. Francois, I mean, what's happening? Are we getting to that tipping point where we will have parity with the European cars, or maybe even a bit of a gap starting to eke out for the Chinese cars?
It's no secret, really, like why this is happening, because they are getting the best knowledge, expertise from around the world, and they are incorporating it in everything they make. And it's not just the cars. All of those things that we use every day come out of China. They are made in China.
My iPhone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, you've driven the C9. How impressive is it really?
It was very, very impressive. When that engine comes on song, it really, really goes. It's got enough punch. I mean, it's got 192 kilowatts, 2-liter turbo, 400 Newton meters of torque. It goes.
As you said, like once you do get up to speed, I mean, the rest of the car's positive attributes like outshine that, because in terms of the refinement, the way it just irons out road imperfections, is actually quite extraordinary for this class of car.
And notice we haven't even mentioned the list of features that we know cars like this come with.
We'll take the rest of the show to to experience
It's
that.
become expected now. If you're buying a car like this from this market, you are going to get more features than you bargained for. I do feel like some of the manufacturers are dialing it back now because they realize to take away some of the features for feature's sake might be a good idea.
The interface takes a while to getting used to. So it becomes, I won't call it disjointed, but it becomes frustrating. It becomes confusing. So in that sense, I think they are, like you said, dialing back some of the stuff to say, okay, let's rather simplify it and give the consumer the tech that they want and not overcompensating with things they're not going to use 90% of the time.
Well, once the shift comes and those small adjustments are made, I feel like we are going to be looking at a revolution in the motor industry in the next couple of years.